into that if we could. There are many scenarios that we're going to have to deal with. But as far as the pensions, we need to look really seriously because that's the big issue in the next few months.
Susan? I forgot to address that with regard to the northeast section of Sarasota, there are innovative police strategies such as the Newtown, the High Point Initiative, which is very important in terms of creating safety, which opens the opportunity for economic development. With regard to our police department, that is the one area that has very, very robust funding still. And we need to be looking at certain areas of policing that are rarely used, such as SWAT, Marine, bomb squad, that can be combined with county policing or the county sheriff to save money. It is said that it's the same staff, but there are huge expenses in equipment and maintenance that are related to those very expensive units. We need to realize that we as city taxpayers are a donor to the county, and the county needs to help us fill in the need for city services. They kind of dumped our parks maintenance back on us, even though there was a dual taxation lawsuit 30 years ago that the city won, and that's how the county ended up taking over our parks. So we need to be looking as county taxpayers for more services to the city to help us with our budget issues. And with regard to the unfunded pensions, we have to address that. It's not a pleasant thing to address, but we have to address it. And we're going to have to go to a defined benefit plan. Contribution plan. Thank you, Suzanne. Richard?
I disagree with Ms. Chapman. Our SWAT, our bomb squad, our Marine Force, they're officers who do other things. They are called into action as needed, but there will not be much significant savings.
Could you address rather what changes to city operations you will promote to get the cost of city government under control?
Well, I'm not going to mess around with the police department. We will look at the pensions, but there's only so much we can do with the pensions. I think there's opportunity for consolidation with the county. I don't think we take advantage of the county enough. I don't think we have a very good relationship with the county as a city commission. I think there's a lot more we can be doing together. I think there's probably savings in our maintenance departments. There's probably savings in our IT departments. There are some areas for consolidation. But as Mayor Atwell said, we are pretty much bare bones at this point. We've lost 27% of our staff over the last 4 years. I want to see us bring in revenue from the outside. I don't want to double taxpayers' taxes. We don't want to double our property taxes. I would rather see some growth. I would like to see some job creation. I would like to see commercial entities doing more in the city, bringing more people in, diversifying our tax base. You can cut. I would rather grow some business in here, create more money going into the city coffers from the commercial sector.
Thank you. If you'll stay on that subject, if voting instead is necessary to raise taxes, how large of a tax increase is acceptable to you?
If what?
If voting instead to raise taxes becomes the only alternative, how large of a tax increase is acceptable to you?
I'm not for a tax increase in any way, shape, or form, and I won't address it that way.
Susan?
That's a really hard one. How hard? I think that we need to. I don't know the answer yet. And without considering everything first, I don't know the answer of how large. I don't think that we can say that we're going to grow business and it's going to grow us out of any kind of economic development problems. What is the goose that laid the golden egg in Sarasota, in the city of Sarasota, is our quality of life. And our quality of life is what draws people here. And we have to recognize that when studies have been done both in the city and the county, first of all, it is the residential base that is providing the taxes in our county. 74% of our, or 73% of our tax dollars are from residences, and that is growing. In my neighborhood, a house just sold in one day. That is growing again. The housing market is growing again, and it is creating more vibrancy in our city. With regard to the county, a study was done with regard to tax cost and services, cost of services and the tax benefit. And what they found is that what creates benefit with very little cost is condo dwellers. And so we need to recognize where the money is coming from. It's not coming from growing outside businesses. It's coming from the quality of life that draws people to live here.
Suzanne?
Yeah, I would agree. That's a tough one. I think one of the numbers that flew around was if we have a quarter of them, and this is if you believe some of the numbers, because you have to look at actuarial value. If you have $250 million in unfunded liabilities in our pensions, it would take 32% raise in taxes to iron this out over the many, many years, whether it's 25, 30 years. That sounds unbelievable. I certainly wouldn't be able to answer that. I mean, I can go as far as saying on the next budget, let's go back to the rollback rate and start something here. But I got to tell you that with all that's going on, all the questions that we've had this evening, the real estate market, everything is looking, we are getting out of this. And because of that, all these issues are being raised. It's almost an exciting time here in Sarasota to deal with these issues because we are getting more ad valorem. So we have to deal with that. So I wouldn't be able to give you a figure other than the long-term out.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank the candidates for coming. And the other